Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. So today I'm going to be reviewing the 2019 film, Anna. Now, Anna is a spy action thriller type of film. It stars Sasha Luss in the title role. It's got Luc Evans, Cillian Murphy, Helen Mirren's in it. It's directed by Luc Besson, who is the same director for Leon the Professional, The Fifth Element, Lucy. Besson, I'm probably saying his name, so I do apologize. I'm definitely saying his name wrong. Has a very particular style. It makes sense why they bring him in for this film. You can definitely tell it's his film just by watching it. It's been kind of getting mixed reviews lately. I know it hasn't released yet in France, I believe. So maybe I'll get French viewers and then they'll make fun of me for pronouncing the French director's name wrong. Anyways. Anna's a spy movie. I tend to like spy movies. I think they're interesting. I feel like, unless it's a James Bond film, though, usually it doesn't do well at the box office. Man from U.N.C.L.E. came out a few years ago, starring Henry Cavill, and I believe Armie Hammer. I really like that. Not a lot of people went and saw it, though, so never got a sequel, which is really unfortunate because it's set up perfectly. Let's get into Anna. Let's get into the actual review for Anna here. Pauses for Anna. The action was actually really good. Well, for the most part. There's a scene in the middle of the film for training and stuff, which is basically, I guess it was a training exercise or something like that. The action scene is really, really, really good. It's choreographed really well. There's no shaky cam action, which I hate shaky cam. I think it's a cheap cop out. If you don't use shaky cam if you have a actress who can actually do the moves you're using. Now, you do use quick cuts and stuff like that if you don't have an actress who can perform the moves. I personally believe believe that you should always use a wide shot if you have that. Obviously, you're using a model here, so who's your main actress, and she does a pretty good job for the most part, I feel like. But the basically the choreography for the fight sequence is just phenomenal. And the fight sequence itself is really good. I really liked, the majority of the characters for this film. Helen Mirren's character of Olga is really good. She's kind of this mastermind character. I really enjoyed her performance, but it's Helen Mirren, so she's always going to do a great performance. Cillian Murphy's character, he played a CIA agent, is just phenomenal. I like him. Luc Evans I enjoy, but I feel like, he plays the same role in every film, just, different. It's like, I'm Luc Evans, and now I'm a KGB agent. I'm Luc Evans, and now I'm this role. I'm Luc Evans. I just don't see a lot of range from Luc Evans, but what I do get at Luc Evans, I do enjoy. His character is interesting. Sasha Luss, I actually think, does a really good job in the title role. I enjoy her character for the most part. I think, she could be better in certain aspects, but I don't really have a problem with her in this role. Story just feels kind of recycled, honestly. I have a lot more flaws, I will say, with this film. I did enjoy this. To be clear, I did enjoy this film, but there are quite a bit of flaws with it. The story itself is just very convoluted. It's an interesting story. It's an entertaining story, but it's very recycled. It feels like the same events happen about 5 different times. It's like, we go for the cycle, and then we go for it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. That's more than 5, but I just emphasize the point. Honestly, I do think that they could have probably cut a lot out. The pacing is not bad per se. It's just there's a lot of filler, which is my problem with it. I don't actually think the pacing is bad for the film. I actually think the pacing is pretty solid. It's just because of the filler, basically cycles you could basically cut a lot of stuff out and you'd still get the same desired outcome. Score is solid and it's kind of bland, but it doesn't really do anything bad with it. I don't want to say it takes away from the film, it just doesn't add anything for it. Quite honestly, I think that this is a film that should have probably... How do I explain this? This is a film that probably should have... I don't know. Had a smaller budget. Should have had I don't know. I think it had about roughly $30 million as its budget. I feel like this is a film you probably could have done. You could have cut a lot of stuff out and done for maybe about half of that cost. I don't really have a lot to say, much more. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I mean, it's a very bland film. There also are a lot of... I do want to say this, actually, thinking about this. There are a lot of little details that don't add up time-wise. We constantly are jumping back and forth between, 85, I believe it is, 87, and 1990. And we just constantly jump back and forth between those years. Just constantly. It's just like, we're here now. No, we're here now. No, we're here now. No, we're here now. And it's just kind of, there are details with the years, though. Like, there are things that are in the film that I'm pretty sure were not around, technology-wise. Which I just find it kind of interesting, kind of funny. But I don't have a problem with it. It's just as much as it's just kind of like, you should be aware of this. You should be able to, shape your story to the time setting you want to shape it in at a moment that's, actually realistic. I don't know. Let's just to move on here. I would give Anna probably I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I'll be nice. I don't think it's a bad film per se. I just don't think it's a good film. I think it's a very average film. I do think some of the portrayals of what goes on in the espionage world, probably don't make the most politically correct or, happy ending, which I do think some critics definitely take away from. I know they have with Sicario and Sidaldo. I don't think this is a great movie. I don't think, it's a movie you have to see in theaters, but, I'd rent on a DVD. I mean, if you want to see it in theaters, it's not a bad theater experience. It's just, you don't have to. It's a movie. If it's on TV, watch it. If you go, if you're looking for something to watch and you want to watch it at home, rent it. It's not a bad film for that purpose, at least. But, that's that. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. That's all for this time, so we'll see you next time.